Yes, it's that time once again. It's Mild's Culture Plate. It is Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. Oh, and I forgot to close my door. Hang on. October 4th, 2023, Wednesday. And we have an interesting show for you folks today. All kinds of shenanigans happening all over the country, all over the world, really. How are you folks? If you're filtering in, as always, anyone that says hello in either the YouTube or Rumble chats, say hello. I'll give you a toast. Today's whiskey, still drinking the Yellowstone bourbon, 93 proof. Good stuff. Can I go ahead and, if I can get the dang cork out, go ahead and pour a little bit. There we go. So, has anything interesting really happened this week at all? Well, of course, the House of Representatives have voted to remove Speaker McCarthy. We got a few related stories to that. We have far leftist activists who were apologists for the crime waves getting deleted by those who they would sympathize with. We have the Pentagon officials being involved in dogfighting rings. We've got all kinds of crazy stuff, and that's just scraping the surface. We have some interesting stories coming up. So let's jump right in it. This is from was posted to Andy No's Twitter X account. I'm sure it originated elsewhere, but let's go ahead and watch this video of the most annoying thing you could ever hope to hear in a Walmart.
Drag me the fuck out! Drag me the fuck out! Drag me the fuck out!
Ring me the F out. Okay, so this woman is being accused of shoplifting. I believe this is police who are detaining her. This gentleman appears to be a police officer detaining her, and she's just demanding that she continue with her transaction here at the register at Walmart. So let's continue to see how this wonderful story unfolds from this beautiful creature here. Now she's saying, drag me the fuck out of here, and destroying the shelves of what do they call them? Impulse purchase stuff that they have near the register. And this continues. Oh, she just struck him in the face when he tried to restrain her.
You're not supposed to be recording.
Yes, ma'am.
And of course, the Walmart employee comes up and tells someone to turn their damn camera off. But lucky for us, that did not happen. We get to hear more wonderful things that this lady says to this noble security guard or police officer, whichever he is. Fucking racist ass. White trash. Okay, we're experiencing a little life.
Damn, I love Walmart.
White trash.
No! Walmart is racist!
God.
Walmart is racist!
Sorry about your ears if you are listening to this on a headphone. Oh my God.
Walmart is racist! Walmart is racist!
Okay. Right now, this is the unfortunate pause on the spread eagle shot. Yeah, if you can't understand the screeching, she's screaming Walmart is racist. We have a whole more minute of this. She lost a shoe. Did you see that?
Let me see just one last one from the front.
Oh, he's got her handcuffed. He can't pick her up. She's too big to pick up. He can't get her up. Anyway, so that was our humor for the day. But that's not all. That's not all. So Andy No posted that. He's from the Post Millennial. We got a couple of other stories from the Post Millennial. So we've got this friends of far-left activist Ryan Carson, who was brutally murdered in a Brooklyn street, say that he would consider the killer a victim of a broken system. So this video has been going viral on the internet over the last 24 hours. I'm not going to air it here. Essentially, it's a man and a woman sitting on a bus bench. A guy walks past them, starts kicking a public trash can. They, for some reason, decide that it's a good idea to approach this psychotic individual. And yeah, the male proceeds to get stabbed to death. And yeah, like I said, we don't need to watch that here. But this is him. This is Ryan Carson, the individual who was brutally stabbed in New York. And yeah, his friends would say he would consider his murderer a victim of the broken system. We got a video from Jack Posobiec, but Chuck Schumer. Ryan Carson threw himself into everything he did with passion and humanity. I worked with him on a big town hall he hosted with NYPIRG and on the Inflation Reduction Act. A rising talent and extraordinary activist. May his memory and work inspire us. Carson was the senior solid waste campaign director at the nonprofit New York Public Interest Research Group. Solid waste director, huh? Sounds like a New York mob thing, right? You know, isn't trash removal? Isn't that? I mean, I guess he got solid waste removed, right? Stabbing took place around 4 a.m. on Monday as Carson and his girlfriend Claudia Morales were waiting for a bus. Carson was a Black Lives Matter activist using acronyms like ACAB in some posts. Okay, well, we have a second related article also from PM here. The GoFundMe for his girlfriend raises over $50,000 in 24 hours. And now there's a video from Andy No. A GoFundMe has been set up in the wake of stabbing of far-left activist Ryan Carson, with the beneficiary of the fundraiser going to his girlfriend who witnessed the attack, Claudia Morales. The fundraiser set up on Tuesday has received over $54,000. We are a collective of Ryan's close friends reeling from a brutal loss. We are asking for your help on behalf of his partner in easing the burden and stress of this horrifying situation, so that we can have space and time to grieve and remember Ryan. Immediate needs are to offset the costs of working class people taking time off of work to properly mourn. I have so many thoughts about this. Like, money's quite a stress relief, right? It's a regular massage of the pockets. Most employers have some sort of grievance leave policy. Um, it would be nice to know what's going on here. So here's another tweet from Andy. No, the police do not protect you. ACAB, BLM, Ryan Carson's girlfriend, Claudia Morales, is a cop hating BLM activist. She was at BLM riot in Boston in 2020, blaming police for violence when they tried to arrest rioters. Da, da, da. Anyway, it says it's a breaking story and will be updated. So that's where we are in this Ryan Carson saga. Is yeah, they feel sorry for the murderer and they're begging for your money. So I mean, communists, what are you going to do? The most epic tweet of the week, and there has been a few. Oh, in fact, let me bring up the other epic tweet of the week. There are two of the most epic tweets of the week that happened. Got to find the other one here. And it's going to be buried. I just know it. Yep. This is the problem with us terminally online people, is our feeds, like, we could just tweet and tweet and tweet and tweet and tweet. Here we go. Found it. Okay, so present, share screen. Okay, so here is candidate one for tweet of the week. Let me know if you're here in the chat. Oh, which Squishy Hunter is here in the chat. Cheers to you, my Venus. But yeah, anyone in the chat, let's vote on this. I'm not going to put up a poll. Just basically say, which of these two tweets you like better. So here's the first one. Holy shit, is this a confession? The amount of people not understanding this is going to be used to kill trans and queer people is making me lose my mind. And so, that's in response to that. And then we have breaking. Florida Senate committee has unanimously passed a bill that would give the death penalty to those who commit crimes, sexual crimes against children. So that's option one for tweet of the week. We also have this for tweet of the week. This is Michael Malice. Kevin McCarthy is going to go home, pour himself a nice scotch, and beat off to the thought of his wife getting fucked by Matt Gaetz. Wow. And Squishy Hunter doubled down in the chat here with, so Matt, now that, or here, let me do what I was doing last week and actually present it on screen here. Oh, nope, that's the old one. I'm boomering it. There we go. I need to remember to delete them. And then, of course, down below, the Murphy beard appears. Oh, you gotta love Michael Malice. He's a troll in all of the right ways. And Joker from Better Bachelor down here. This post wins the internet today. So yeah, we have these two amazing tweets. We have this Michael Malice cuckolding tweet about Kevin McCarthy, and then we have Chaya Raychick basically saying that this insane post here is a confession that the trans and queer people might be guilty of these crimes that they're worried about being punished with the death penalty. So let me know, especially you, Squishy Hunter. Let me know which of those two tweets, the McCarthy tweet or the LGBT tweet. Which one do you think is funnier? And that'll be the tweet of the week, unless somebody else jumps in and votes. See, let's check the YouTube chat. Yeah, nobody chatting in there either. All right, so let me go ahead and remove that and move on to the next story. Present, share screen. So this is lovely. Let's watch this video together. I haven't seen this whole video all the way through. Yes, okay. Squishy Hunter votes for the LGBT tweet. So if you want the Matt Gaetz, Kevin McCarthy cuckold tweet to win, you better hop in the chat now and vote.
Career conference for females in tech was taken over by male attendees.
They were there just purely for the career fair.
Social media clips filmed at the Grace Hopper,
Grace Hopper, the world's largest gathering of
the world's largest gathering of women
technologists,
show men standing in line to meet with recruiters.
This is a space for women in tech.
Wait.
Wait.
But it's not. But it's not though. It's a space for women and non-binary queer folks, right? Because how did they get in? They registered as non-binary. They didn't register as women. They registered as non-binary.
Is one of those few limited resources that isn't for you. It's for us.
Some of the male attendees.
Oh, how bigoted of you. How bigoted of you. This is all ours, man.
Reportedly lied about being non-binary just to get in.
But it's
Wait, how do you lie about being non-binary? If non-binary exists, if it's a thing, and again, I'm saying if because this is y'all's argument. Y'all's argument. If non-binary is a thing, then that means the binary isn't a binary. And the whole definition of non-binary is, maybe this is more gender fluid than non-binary, but they're practically synonyms at this point, right? You can identify with however you want that day. Just because these folks look like men, decided to present masculine in your terminology, who are you to tell them what their gender identity is just because of the way they're presenting? This is very, very transphobic. Very transphobic.
It's interesting that the large majority of the people that actually ended up in the event had name tags with he, him, and have no searchable history.
Okay. You don't get to invalidate someone else's gender.
History of identifying as non-binary.
Several tech workers defended the men.
Maybe they didn't before. Maybe they're just coming out. And now you get to attack them for coming out and being their bold and beautiful selves? Pretty transphobic of you.
And for trying to capitalize on job opportunities not meant for them, saying that the entire concept was wrong.
Let's be honest, there is no need for a conference just for women, because if it was the opposite, just for men, then it would be sexist. Just because.
Yeah, it would be sexist. But let's face it, this isn't a conference for women. This is a conference for women and non-binary. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gotten in. If it was just women, well, I mean, they might have been able to identify as women. And then you'd really be a bigot, right?
because you are a woman doesn't give you the right to talk to a big firm recruiter. Guys work just as hard and they don't get that chance.
Yeah. So that's the bigotry of the week. That's the bigotry, just because some people have a penis and want to attend your tech conference, and visit the job fair and talk to big recruiters and try to get jobs that these queer folks deserve. These brave non-binary penis having people deserve jobs. I don't see the problem. You folks have created this binary of non-binary and non-binary. And now when people are identifying in the non-binary binary, you have a problem with it. You're fucking hypocrites. You are fucking hypocrites. One moment. Okay. So, was anybody aware that there was a mass shooting yesterday? Any of my audience, were you aware that there was a mass shooting yesterday? That there was, in fact, a school shooting yesterday? Morgan State mass shooting, multiple weapons were involved. When 5 were shot, Baltimore police say. Multiple weapons were involved in a shooting on Morgan State University's campus that left 5 people injured Tuesday night. A search is ongoing for suspects. No arrests have been announced. Investigators believe there was a dispute between 2 groups when gunfire erupted near a dorm on the university's campus. At least 3 people believed to be armed. 3 people armed. I thought schools were no gun zones, gun-free zones. Schools were gun-free zones. In fact, I've heard that Morgan State University in particular is a gun-free campus. Could be wrong about that, but that's what I've heard. 4 men and 1 woman between 18 and 22 were shot. All were hospitalized with non-life-threatening wounds. Worley said one of those victims has been released from the hospital as of Wednesday morning. Conditions of remaining victims are not immediately clear. Worley said those shot were bystanders and not intended targets. 4 of them are students at the historically black university based in Northeast Baltimore. Officers responded to the 1700 block of Argonne Drive, the area of Marshall apartment complex dorms, after Morgan State University police on patrol heard gunfire around 9:25 p.m., according to authorities. Anyone with information is urged to contact Baltimore police. The shooting happened shortly after the crowning of Mr. and Miss Morgan State University, a kickoff to homecoming. Class was canceled Wednesday. Homecoming activities scheduled this week will be reevaluated as part of an emergency meeting Wednesday morning. The shooting marks the 3rd year in a row of shooting during the university's homecoming week. In 2022, a 20-year-old man was shot attending a homecoming party. That person wasn't a student. 2021, an 18-year-old was shot on campus following the university's homecoming activities. Baltimore City Councilwoman Odette Ramos told WJZ she was horrified for the campus and the students when she heard of the shooting. It's been a sad, sad evening, especially since Morgan has homecoming coming up, and that is usually a big celebration of how wonderful campus is and yeah, how wonderful campus is. So wonderful. So wonderful. Someone gets bullets in them every homecoming. I'm here to show my support to the students, she said. So every time there's a school shooting, Twitter erupts, the mainstream media erupts, everyone starts calling for banning of guns. Yet I have barely seen a whiff of this anywhere today. I've barely seen a whiff of this anywhere today. There's only one place I saw this story even mentioned, and we'll get to that in a moment. But why? Why aren't people talking about this? Could it be this? Could it be that our mainstream media is afraid of giving negative, violent attention to an HBCU? Again, I try not to get into the race realism, race baiting stuff on this channel. I don't believe it's productive. I don't believe the racism that goes along with it is productive. But when our mainstream media, again, I talk about false narratives. You know, this idea that we got to stop school shootings, that we got to ban guns. And here we have clearly two groups of young black folks in a historically black university. You have a mass shooting happen, 5 people in the hospital, and at least 3 people were armed in a gun-free zone. And none of the gun grabbers, I mean, I don't want to say none. There may be some people talking about it. But none of the usual characters that pop up in your Twitter feed demanding we give up our AR-15s have a word to say about this. It lets you know that all of the other conversation about school shootings is merely a political adjustment that they want to make. It's political expedience to take what you have. And you know, when I said the usual characters, understand there are some usual characters that did speak out on this, and here we go. Here's one of them. Moms demand action. 5 people were shot and wounded. Look, notice none of the details here. 5 people were shot and wounded, sending the campus into chaos and forcing students to shelter into place. Yeah. And of course, somebody down here with the memes, right? So there's that. But how did I find out about this story? Well, I got to see some funny trolling on Fox News. If y'all are familiar with popular internet troll Mark Dice decided to call into Fox News and let him know what he saw at this historically black university here.
And we've got Tyrone on the phone with us now. Tyrone, when you say poker game, what exactly happened? What transpired?
Well, first we'll all get together every Tuesday night, and we watch Tucker Carlson's show on X. We used to watch him on Fox News. Obviously, he's not there no more. Mm-hmm.
And so he's name dropping Tucker Carlson live on Fox News while Fox thinks they're talking to a student at this historically black university.
Still being the most credible guy in the media in America, we always get together to watch Tucker Carlson, and I think he's doing probably better now that he's not with Fox News, because the corporate media always controls what the teleprompter readers are able to say. And
This
now
is
that he doesn't
beautiful.
have that
Thank
hand
you, Tyron.
up
Can
his
we
back.
maybe we can work to get Don back on the phone, Tracy? We can get that. Clearly, that was not a student at Morgan State University. And we've got Tyrone on the
Dice,
phone with
you're
us
a
now.
beautiful bastard. I can't. I mean, this is what I mean by love, man. You got to spread love and humor on the internet. You have to. Even if it's gallows humor, you have to spread love on the internet and humor. And yeah, so we have Mark Dice. Yeah, that was me who culture jammed Fox News live on air. While shootings of any kind are terrible and it's important to inform the public about a potential danger, cable news always exploits tragedies in order to keep viewers glued to their screens and fill the airtime with anything available to them. In this case, some random caller whose name and identity didn't even bother to verify before putting on air as someone who supposedly knows what really happened. Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing. So for the next story, we're going to go to the New York Post. Senior Pentagon official ran vicious dogfighting ring and executed the losers with jumper cables. Say the feds who employed this man. Washington, senior Defense Department official ran vicious dogfighting, blah, blah, basically the same thing that's in the title. Frederick Douglass Moorfield Jr., 62, the Pentagon's Deputy Chief Information Officer for Command, Control, and Communications, is charged with promoting and furthering animal fighting venture, the Maryland U.S. Attorney's Office announced Monday. The investigation into Moorfield, who named his dog fighting business Jihad Kennels, an apparent homophone for jihad, began in 2018 when Anne Arundel County Animal Control discovered the bodies of two dogs in plastic bags that included mail addressed to his Arnold, Maryland home, according to a recently unsealed affidavit in the case. So that was 2018. Animal Control has known that this shit has been going on for 5 years. The distribution and a number of recent and healed dog bite wounds present on both dogs was consistent with organized dog fighting, an FBI agent wrote in the affidavit. Based on this information, I believe that Moorfield sponsored each of these dogs in a dog fight. Veterinary medical examiners were unable to determine the dog's causes of death, but the investigator believes Moorfield killed them himself if they did not die in a fight, according to the report. And here's this beautiful, lovely, upstanding gentleman, government official, federal agent person. This person is a communication and information officer. So one of the chief propagandists for the government doing this shit. Here we have a screen or a picture from a phone here. Yo, that mutt quit 50 minutes. F these dogs. And then a video. During a search executed at Arnold, Maryland, agents seized an iPhone from a dresser. Give him a minute. What's up, bro? Give him a minute. Talk to Hardway. He was flying to DR for the weekend. Bro, I'm on the way. Save me a couple. I know, right? I was have a little fun last night. That's what I'm talking about. 42F, 4K, 6 to 8 weeks, 1K fit. Not sure what that means. I'll do 8 weeks, be back Tuesday. Investigators discovered Moorfield listed at least 18 dogs on a dogfighting pedigree website dating back to at least 2002. So he's been doing this for 20 years. Individuals who sponsor dogs for dogfighting often kill dogs that lose a fight. I believe these dogs were killed during that fight or that Moorfield killed each of them afterwards for performing poorly, the investigator added. Esteemed career. Oh, okay. So here's where the New York Post gets to fluff this guy. Moorfield is accused of being involved in dogfighting throughout his career as a civilian employee for the Defense Department, which began in October 2008 when he was hired as Director of Strategic Planning for the Air Force Spectrum Management Office, according to his LinkedIn profile. Since then, he's held various Pentagon leadership positions before taking on his current role in March 2020. He also served 9 years in the Air Force before leaving the service in 98, according to the profile. There's the jumper cables. Pentagon spokesman Lieutenant Commander Tim Gorman confirmed the DoD is aware of the criminal complaint, but declined to say whether Moorfield remained employed in his position. We can confirm the individual is no longer in the workplace, but we cannot comment further on an individual personnel matter. In his current position, Moorfield provides technical expertise, oversight, and broad guidance on policy, programmatic, and technical issues relating to worldwide military communication networks and advises on efforts to achieve and maintain information dominance for the Department of Defense, according to the affidavit. Dear Lord, this is one of those faith in humanity fucking attacking stories. I mean, the fact that this dude has been doing this for 20 years, has done it the entire time he's been employed with the government, and has received all of these promotions. I mean, what are these background checks supposed to find? I mean, this person was supposed to maintain information dominance. Jesus. Hang on, I need to do something real quick. Sorry, went ahead and turned off my name there on the stream. Officials seized a weighted vest of the size that could fit a dog. Oh, okay, yeah, so they're training him off, obviously. In a September 6th search of his home, FBI discovered 5 pit bull type dogs kept in small, thick metal cages in a windowless room in the unfinished portion of his basement, according to the affidavit. The room holding seized dogs contained items generally used to train dogs for fighting, including weighted collars and heavy metal chains. Agents observed an apparatus that is used for involuntarily inseminating female dogs. Investigators also found a device consisting of jumper cables attached to an electrical plug used to electrocute a dog after losing a fight, the ends of which were covered in dog hair and blood. During the search, Moorfield admitted using the Jihad alias and said his barber had been watching the dogs the previous weekend, authorities said. He also allegedly falsely told investigators that animal control authorities had already visited his home and observed the dogs. He's accused of placing dogs on treadmills, feeding them PEDs such as steroids and specialized dog food, strapping them in weighted vests, embroidered with the name Jihad Kennels. Moorfield's iCloud account found multiple photographs taken in or around March 2023, what appear to be fighting dogs in cages and or wearing weighted collars consistent with those used to train to fight dogs. In encrypted messages, he reportedly conspired with associates to plan dogfights, referring to his female dogs as hoes. He also spoke about refereeing other dogfights in Baltimore. Wow, man, that's 3 stories out of Baltimore today, folks. Sounds like a good place to live. Cheers. FBI agents also discovered bloodstains from dogfights held at Moorfield's home, as well as syringes and medical staple gun meant for closing wounds. Yeah. Moorfield faces charges of participating in, promotion, and conspiracy to participate in an animal fighting venture, as well as interstate travel in aid of racketeering enterprises. Prosecutors also accused his barber, Mario Damon Flythe, of 49, of the same charges in the case after investigators discovered the messages on the phone. During a search, investigators seized 7 dogs, at least one of which he admitted was a puppy that Moorfield had bred and given to him. Agents also discovered dog fighting paraphernalia, including weighted collars and a treadmill at the barber's home. 4 of Flythe's dogs were of various breeds, appeared underfed, kept outdoors in fenced enclosures. Another 3 were apparently kept in small cages that appeared similar to those in which Moorfield kept. During the search, Flythe admitted to participating in dog fighting in the past, wink, wink, and confirmed that equipment. Yeah, he wasn't literally fighting dogs as the agents were raiding his home. So he fought some dogs in the past. Jesus. How fucking fork-tongued can you be? He told investigators he'd been friends with Moorfield, with whom investigators discovered he shared more than 730 phone calls between April 22 and April 23 for more than a decade. The barber and DOD official reportedly met through a dogfighting community. Oh, this is it right here. If convicted, the 2 would face a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. According to prosecutors, they're currently out of custody but remain under supervision. Jesus. Monsters. Monsters walk among us, folks. Monsters walk among us and only get 5 years and apparently get bail and everything else. We let these people walk among us. Again, I there are things I can't say on YouTube. But yeah, I can't advocate for what I want to advocate for. So apparently the internet, as we shift gears, the internet has a problem with Justin Trudeau all of a sudden. Of all the things Justin Trudeau has said and done, they think this is creepy.
L'honorable Premier Ministre.
The Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Très honorable.
Here, let me restart that.
L'honorable Premier Ministre.
The Right Honorable Prime Minister.
And of course, it's lagging.
Très honorable.
You see the wink? Come on, load, stupid thing. It's not.
L'honorable Premier Ministre.
The Right Honorable.
What the hell? See the tongue? The wink and the tongue. The internet thinks that is creepy, but all the other stuff Trudeau has done, no, that's fine. That's just fine. Don't need to worry about, the black face, the brown face, the, hanging out with Nazis. No, all that will excuse him for. But winking and sticking his tongue out at the new Speaker of the House of Commons, that's a bridge too far. That's a little gross. So this brings us to our main story. And I want to talk just a little bit about this idea of removing the Speaker of the House. Because, I don't want to just throw out, a lot of these articles, it's pretty obvious where I stand on them. But this is a little deeper. because there's fear mongering going on from all different directions and all sides, and people talking one way or another, and definitely the Michael Malice tweets were funny. But the idea of removing the Speaker of the House, something that has never been done before, has now been done. Matt Gaetz was successful in uniting the Republican Liberty Caucus, or at least some Republicans that may or may not have been part of the Liberty Caucus. Anyway, getting 8 votes from the Republican side and coaxing the Democrats into joining those 8 Republicans in voting to vacate the chair of the Speaker of the House. And I've been hearing a lot of, well, this is going to hurt the Republican Party. This is going to help the Democrats win. This is going to help this, help that, and hurt the Republicans this way. You know, and honestly, look, I'm not a Republican, so maybe I shouldn't even be speaking about this. But it's like, yeah, well, the Ukraine funding, the bullshit bipartisanship of McCarthy working with the Democrats to endlessly fund Ukraine, to spend our money. I mean, I don't see a Congress that's not going to spend our money without our representation or knowledge, but the omnibus spending and the craziness. DNL Mentors in the chat says, you mean when 6% of the Republican Party has the power to remove the one person, 94% for the Republicans, mean the majority was overruled by the minority? This is not McCarthy's fault. Well, look, McCarthy made deals. McCarthy made deals in order to get into power. And, you know, according to Gaetz, and I personally believe that, you know, he didn't keep those promises. You could say it's not his fault. Sure. Okay, so instead of being a traitor, he's just incompetent, an incompetent loser. I mean, sure. But that, you know, at some point, the Republican Party has to start fighting to win. At some point, and I'm not one of those moral relativists who say, well, the Republicans should just, you know, take the same tactics as people who trans kids and this and that. No, but they do have to win young people. They do have to win the language battles, and they have to fight fights. They have to not cave and not, you know, compromise all the time. TNL Mentor says, yeah, and Matt Gaetz thinks he is the guy. Well, as far as I know, Matt Gaetz isn't running for speaker. Matt Gaetz isn't running for speaker. So, I mean, again, I don't know if Matt Gaetz is that guy or not. To me, it's Matt Gaetz is just attempting. And look, I have no love lost for Matt Gaetz. I definitely, there are issues in which I definitely do not agree with Matt Gaetz on. You know, he's not some politician I support necessarily. But this particular instance, you know, I was against McCarthy becoming speaker in the first place. I think there were a lot more well-qualified people who care more about the freedom of Americans. And yeah, I think McCarthy felt anointed by the Republican Party to do what he wanted to do. DNL Mentor is telling me that even Trump supported McCarthy. That doesn't help your case. I look, as much as I like Trump, I'm not a Trump guy. Like the 2016, I didn't even vote for Donald Trump. So I mean, I'm not the guy. Like we have other better qualified people than even Trump. So I don't know what to say. telling me that Trump supported McCarthy. That's Trump supported Pfizer. Trump supported Anthony Fauci. That doesn't tell me anything. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. Anyway, yeah, you should know something. I do, and I appreciate your analysis of it, and I appreciate a lot of people's analysis of it. But my point is, we are in a state where our border's wide open. We're facing economic collapse. And our politicians would rather give all of our money to banks in Ukraine and run up inflation, run up the debt, and leave us saddled with the bill while we're getting invaded. And there's, violence on the streets, as we've been covering this whole show, violence on the streets. Anyway, forgot to give you your toast. Cheers. Our government needs a change of direction. And if it takes some radical shenanigans to wake people up, I don't necessarily think this is going to do it, this particular thing, but it's a start. It's a start in getting the ball rolling. And the reason I say it's a start in getting the ball rolling, right here. USA to Ukraine may hinge partly on who takes over as House Speaker. Speaker Kevin McCarthy's ouster on Tuesday could signal a shift in the U.S. House Representatives' aid to Ukraine, with some of his possible successors strongly in favor of assisting Kyiv, but others staunchly opposed. The House voted for the first time on Tuesday to remove his leader, as 8 of McCarthy's fellow Republicans, blah, blah, blah. There was no immediate indication of who might succeed McCarthy, but the next speaker could quash more Ukraine aid before a proposal reaches the House floor if that person opposes the idea. The vote to oust McCarthy came just 3 days after he led the House to pass a stopgap spending bill to prevent a government shutdown that included no new money for Ukraine, highlighting the reluctance of some members of his caucus to back Ukraine's funds. A Ukraine report card by Defending Democracy Together's Republicans for Ukraine campaign rated the leading candidates on the strength of their support for past Ukraine aid. Republican opponents of the aid view it as excessive spending and misplaced U.S. policy priority. Those ratings range from A to F. Representative Tom Emmer, the House Republican whip, got the highest rating, an A. Oh, imagine that. Steve Scalise, the number 2 House Republican, has long been favored to take over as Speaker after McCarthy and received one notch lower, a B. Matt Gaetz, who led the push to oust McCarthy, said he would support Scalise. Gaetz himself, House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan, and hardline Rising Star Representative Byron Donalds all received Fs. The White House said on Tuesday it was confident that the United States would ultimately provide more assistance for Ukraine, no matter the fate of McCarthy's speakership. You see, and this is it right here. That line. The White House is essentially giving a big FU to the Republicans in Congress. DNL Mentor says the president is a Democrat, the Senate is a Democrat. How much do you think any Republican or liberal can do to change laws? Well, this, I mean, if the House is Republican, the House can create chaos, can just put a halt to any new spending, to any spending at all. This government shutdown, I was for it. Screw the fear-mongering about closing down national parks and such. Like, let's stop spending the money. If you're not going to give us a common sense bill, then no bill will pass. That's all the Republicans have to say. If you're not going to give us a common sense bill, no bill would pass. That's what Republicans can do. They can shut the government down. They can be a huge stop sign for the New World Order. McCarthy, who got a B- grade, denied accusations by Gates that he had cut a secret deal with Biden to allow the House to vote on Ukraine aid. McCarthy said that then he wanted more information from the Biden administration. Did he get it? Did he get more information from the Biden administration? Did Biden let the House know what his projected future for the Ukrainian war is? President Joe Biden asked Congress in July to approve another $24 billion to Ukraine, which Republican Ukraine supporters as well as Democrats had hoped to become law as part of a spending bill. Yeah, Republicans are clamoring to fulfill Joe Biden's promises to another country to fund their government. I mean, I think you'd have to have evidence of that, D&L Mentors. Like he says, he was trying to stop the flow of money. McCarthy was trying to stop the flow of money to Ukraine. I don't think he was. I think he was trying to get some accountability. And even in the lack of accountability, he was still working on a deal. I mean, it So the last news story, and this one's more of let's laugh at the other side for a minute instead of infighting like we're doing here. And again, sorry, D&L Mentors. I don't mean to necessarily pick on you. You're just the person, raising the opposition debate, and I appreciate your opinion. I could possibly share your opinion, at different points, but as of right now, this all leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm more of an anarchist, so I'm like, fuck it, let's burn it all down. And by anarchist, I mean libertarian. I don't mean Antifa fucking bullshit. Anyway, so here we go. Let's laugh at the other side for just a minute now that we're through all the drama here. CNN, Chris Cizilla, the Donald Trump for speaker idea won't die. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. They're losing their mind because some people are taking the Donald Trump for speaker thing seriously. Earlier this week, in an interview with one-time Trump White House political guru Steve Bannon, Mark Meadows said aloud what Trumpy types have been thinking for a while. Meadows, who served as Trump's White House chief of staff, said if Republicans regain the House majority, they should install former president as speaker in January 2023. I would love to see the gavel go from Nancy Pelosi to Donald Trump, Meadows told Bannon. You talk about melting down, people would go crazy. And now here we are. I'm not even going to read the rest of that. It's funny because he even adds the quote, you talk about melting down, people would go crazy, as he's typing an entire article where he is melting down and going crazy over the idea that some people would back Donald Trump for Speaker of the House. Ladies and gentlemen, regardless of what happens with this House of Representative stuff, look, I only wish our country well, right? I want to see the border shored up. I want to see banking reined in. I want to see Ukraine reined in. I want to see diplomacy happening with our enemy, quote, enemy nations, right? Russia, China, North Korea, India, or not India, Iran. Sorry, I'm a little drunk. I was thinking of the I country in the BRICS nation, and I said the wrong thing. Anyway, but here we are. We've got to have a way forward. And look, if it's Donald Trump, then I'm MAGA the whole way. But, again, I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't know who I'm going to vote for yet in the 2024 election. I haven't made that decision. I'm not enthusiastic about any of these candidates, especially these men in their 70s. But I'm here to watch the shit show. because as we saw earlier in the show, things are getting violent, things are getting dangerous. You have people shoplifting and then blaming racism when they get caught. Walmart is racist. I seriously hope someone takes that Walmart is racist and puts it on like a loop with some dope beats of oosh, 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 oosh. Walmart is racist. Oosh, oosh. You know, like that would be amazing. Anyway, so we have reached the end of the show. Sorry, I'm going a little bit over because I'm rambling and ranting and I'm a little drunk. So I think my lower calorie diet is causing me to get drunk easier on this stuff. Because like I said, this is only 93 proof. 46.5% alcohol by volume. So good stuff though. Anyway, wait, real quick. DNL Mentors. Let me go ahead and bring this up on screen. How do you feel about government dollar buyback and changing to cyber currency? I mean, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I mean, I think for the reasons everyone else says it's a nightmare, because anything digital can be turned off because you said the wrong thing on your Rumble channel, right? So now we're going to just turn you off because we don't like what you said. So yeah, that's why I think the banks need to be reined in, because all the banks are under essentially the IMF, the World Bank, and the World Economic Forum, who want to institute these things. But anyway, so yeah, that's going to be about it for the show. Donald Trump for Speaker of the House. I'm glad, that that court case that was going on. I'm glad Trump prevailed in that. One of many. But I don't know. I'm gonna save that for the next show. Maybe. One thing I did want to mention. One thing I'm hoping to do to all my audience out there. I'm considering doing a Twitch watch party after my program on Saturday. I'm thinking about doing a Twitch watch party. I noticed the Batman movie from last year is currently on Amazon Prime. And even though I've roasted the movie 2-3 times on this channel, I think it would be interesting to do a live roast. I think it would be interesting to do, live commentary on the Batman. So if you're interested in that, please let me know in the comments. Please let me know. Thank you, DNL Mentors, for showing up. Also, thank you for Squishy Hunter earlier. Always good to see people coming in and chit-chatting. It always makes the show better, being able to have some feedback. So yeah, please show up for the next show. It's going to be 6:00 p.m. Central this Saturday, right here on www.rumble.com/mild/live and over on YouTube at The Mild World. And then I'm also The Mild World on X. So please find me on any of those platforms. Links are down in the description of this video. Also, please like, subscribe, follow, whatever, depending on what platform you are. Because subscribe means something different on Rumble, and I'm not necessarily asking for your money. Feel free to keep it. But subscribe on YouTube, follow on Rumble. Share this off platform if you can. If you know somebody who might enjoy this show, let them know that it exists. And yeah, I'll see you folks next time this Saturday on Mild's Culture Plate. Until then, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Don't get any on you. Shit. Outlast the haters. Don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. Catch you next time on Mild's Culture Plate. Peace. Oh, Sally. You waited until I drank all my whiskey to say anything? as soon as I'm logging off, poof, Sally pops up. So I'm going to pour just a tiny sip and give Sally a cheers. Thank you for coming by. Anyway, good night, everybody. Peace.